All right, guys, welcome back to Broke Bets for the Tuivasa versus Tybura card, UFC Vegas 88. Lane here with you. Always got my co-host with me, Carson. As always, what's up?
Uh, what's up? We got a few good fights on this card.
Yes, we do. Yeah, a couple to pay attention to, and a little bit of a string of bad weeks, but it makes up for 299 and 300 are still great. So, yeah, coming off of 299, nice positive card coming into hopefully a three-card win streak after this card. So, first bet, Christian Rodriguez. And I'm shocked. I'm shocked he's not the favorite. I bet this line over a month ago, I believe, um, on Bet Online. And then the weirdest thing, it went back to like minus 110 and then it shifted all the way to plus 160. So the line movement's been really crazy. I debated doubling down on the line, but to be honest, I probably shouldn't bet against a guy who's still 6-0, you know, all finishes on his resume in round one or whatever. Still threatening guy. So I'm not gonna make that mistake, but I still feel like Rodriguez is just better everywhere. This dude's scrambling. I mean, Bulgarian will probably be the guy who's offensively wrestling. But Rodriguez's scrambling ability is literally like some of the best I've seen, especially in that division. And his guillotines are great. I mean, go watch the Jonathan Pierce fight. Could have easily ended that fight with his guillotine. Got a nasty Darce, Anaconda. He's got a lot of weapons on the ground. So I like him to outstrike and outgrapple here, Dolgarian, and be faster in rounds 2 and 3. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think he can weather the early storm from Delgarian. Delgarian's got all finishes in that first round, and typically they're pretty early. So we'll see if Rodriguez can get out of that first round and wear out Delgarian. Rodriguez has a really good get up game, and like you mentioned, his guillotine's really good as well. I think he'll stop those takedowns in the second and third round and outstrike him here.
Yup. All right. Next bet. Doing Kouba and Danny Silva to go the distance. It's risky. I didn't really want to do the over 2.5 because I feel like this fight will be very high pace, but I think Koulibal's really durable, and I think that he doesn't really have like one shot lights out power. So both guys will probably be touching and moving a lot of the fight, and I think it's just going to be pitter patter a little bit until go the distance. Danny Silva will throw with intent, but there could be also a lot of instances where they could clinch up because Koulibaly will probably be trying to get this fight to the ground if he can. I'm not sure if he will be able to. Um, but yeah, I like this one going the distance at minus 130. I saw like the over 2.5 at one point was minus 200, and they'd go the distance minus 130. So I just hopped on that. I felt like it was a better deal. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, both these guys are super tough, super durable. Silva's never been finished before, and Koulibal's only been finished once by Jalen Turner, and Jalen Turner's finished every one of his opponents.
Yeah,
So
I think Koulibaly was like up a weight class too for that. He was at lightweight, and you could just
lightweight,
see
yeah,
the size difference was like incredibly different. So
yeah. So both these guys are super tough, super durable. Yeah, I do think it'll be high paced fight. A lot of volume from Silva, but yeah, I think these guys are both tough enough to last the 15 minutes.
right on. Next, taking a little bit of a chance here on the Brian Battle Ange Losa under 2.5 rounds because it's not these guys haven't had the fight outcomes be under 2.5 a ton. Brian Battle's got 3 finishes, I believe, here in the UFC. Um, Ange Losa, none. But he's been in high pace fights, and that's what I always like finding these sneaky unders where um, this fight's gonna start, and there might be people who have the over in it, and they're gonna fucking sweat from the moment this fight starts till it possibly reaches that point because Losa throws a lot of strikes. His last 3 fights, he had 80 plus strikes, which is quite a bit for a welterweight in a 3 round fight. And last fight against Reese McKee, he was throwing with bad intentions, and I think he could carry some of that over into this fight. He's been rocked a couple times now. He survived, but still not a great sign. Brian Battle's got that submission ability. still and knockout power. And I think Angelosa does still have the power to knock out Brian Battle. So should be a good fight. And I think the under is just a sneaky little play here.
Yeah. Battles finished 4 of his 5 wins in the UFC. The only one not was Trishan Gore. Like you said, Losa's never been finished before, but he's been hurt in multiple fights. So I think with him and his high pace, I think Battle could be able to catch him later in the fight. You see Losa's kind of slowed down later as the fight goes on with the high pace that he puts on early.
Right. Hoping for a good fight there as well, considering we don't have too many. Moving down, final bet. Going with Chad and Anheliger and Gregario over 1.5 rounds. I feel like Gregario's power isn't maybe quite as what people think it is. He's just kind of got that awkward movement, and Cameron Smotherman, I believe was his name, right, on the Contender. He didn't seem to have the best chin. I believe he was knocked out prior. Got touched by like one punch and was practically out. I feel like Anheliger surviving Jose Johnson in the 3rd round and some of these other guys, neither being a fantastic grappler, can kind of open this up. And Anheliger's only been finished by submission, and Gregario's only won by knockout. So kind of a good combination for that over 1.5, if you ask me. What are your thoughts on that one?
I think Anheliger will be tough enough to withstand the power from Gregario, and then like you said, Gregario doesn't have any submissions, and that's typically how Anheliger's losing if he is finished. So
Right.
I think they're both these guys are tough enough to last 7.5 minutes.
Yeah, especially for bantamweights, that finish rate, that statistically, it should come into play here, and maybe Gregario's getting a little bit more favor for a finish because of that Contender Series fight. But
right.
And then finally, Ode Osborne and Fieldhill. Again, missed the line movement a little bit on this one. But just in the writing of the fight, I feel like it's gonna not go the distance. It's Ode Osborne by 1st round knockout, in my opinion, or it's Fieldhill by submission after that. And you seen just how Fieldhill got hurt in his most recent fight to the body, and then literally like 30 seconds after it, he's going crazy hooks left, right, straight back at Perez. And I just feel like Ode Osborne or Fieldhill will crumple under either one's pressure. And Ode might look good right away in the fight, but Fieldhill will probably take over once Ode slows down. So
yeah, both these guys put on a crazy pace. I think Ode KO round 1 is probably how he wins. And then Fieldhill probably takes over after that. Like you said, Ode's been subbed quite a few times, and I feel like that's the most common path to victory here for Fieldhill in second or 3rd round. I'd probably say 2nd.
right, and we just saw Vergara and Almabayev, fight. Almabayev subbed Ode Osborne, but Almabayev had CJ Vergara's back, and he couldn't really do too much with it. And then he got Ode's back and choked him out pretty fast. So be interesting how that plays out.
Right.
Other plays I want to talk about. So, Gerald Meerschaert, Brian Barberena. I think you have an angle in this fight. I'll let you go first for your, if you're playing this long shot. I don't know if you are.
Yeah, I mean, I think it gets out of the 1st round, and it's pretty much a toss-up from there on out. I'm leaning towards GM3 submission round 3. I believe most of his submissions are in that 3rd round as well, too, in the UFC here. So I think that was at like plus 1,000, somewhere around there, plus 1,000-ish. So something to keep an eye on. I think you got Barberena by KO somewhere around.
Yeah, I have Barberena
2nd or 3rd.
KO round 2 at 1,600 and round 3 at 2,200, because Gerald's chin overall and his overall durability hasn't been great. He's got no head movement. And if Barberena gets out of that round 1, there's a chance he could be a little bit more of the fresher fighter. And it just feels like that's kind of Barberena's way to win this fight. It's gonna be hard for him probably to win a decision, because when he's up, he's pressuring people, and then it leaves him open for a takedown as well. So I think the ones we explained are good angles to the fight. Other than that, I don't know if I have too many other angles on any of these other fights. Kenny and Jukwu, I mean, I looked at his KO prop, but man, I can't trust that dude for nothing. So yeah.
Yeah, and then I don't know. A lot of these parlay pieces are just shot right now. Mike Davis minus 500. That's pretty outrageous right now.
Right.
Um, yeah, I guess Macy Chasson. I do think she wins, and I think minus 225 or whatever it is right now is fair. But
I can't trust her.
at the end of the day, it is a woman's fight, and you can't really
And
trust.
she's winning fights, but she's also doing it sometimes in weird ways. Like her Norma Dumont fight, she just like got so exhausted that she just grabbed her legs on the fence and tried to take her down. And it doesn't. I do not want to be nervous late into a fight like that. So I know Pani Kianzad ain't really that good either. But anyway,
Yeah, and it's at 135. We'll see if she's able to make the weight. So,
yeah.
don't know.
Anywho, yeah, these are the bets, guys. Hopefully, 3-card win streak. Get on the Patreon, boys. The Patreon's rolling. And again, beating line movement every week. This is the one week where maybe I made a little bit of failure on the line movement, but I think a lot of people made mistakes here. So anyway, anything else from you?
Can't get them all, but yeah. I mean, check out that Patreon. We'll have fighter notes and next week's card, following week's card out shortly. Next
Yep.
few days.
All right. See you guys. Peace.
Peace.